I think that's an important question, Shireen. And again, speaking from my experience both at FSSAI and I happen to work with the Pension Fund Authority also as the Executive Director, essentially what happens with a knee-jerk reaction is that we bring in more regulation to handle an existing failure in regulation, which is definitely not the way to go. Now, the method, to my mind, again, has to come out of being sensitive or conscious to the regulated entities, being in sync with the citizen and their demands, and ultimately through collaboration and keeping your ears to the ground. Yeah. Everything is evolutionary. So for me to say that I'll put a regulation in place today and it will be good for all time to come is not going to happen. It cannot happen, right? What is the other method? The other method is, as a regulator, I have a very clear vision of who are my constituents. It is not just the regulated entities. Yes, the regulated entities are very much a part of my system. And being in touch with them and treating them as somebody essential to your system rather than as adversaries. I think this entire adversarial approach where you have a regulated entity, so hence I should regulate, and regulate is enforced. It is not enough. It is required, I repeat, it is required, but it is not enough. Let me give you an example of a street food vendor. In food, now if I come down hammer and tongs on a street food vendor and say you're not following all the regulations, it makes no sense. That person doesn't even know what regulations they're supposed to follow. So to be in sync with what it is that they need to do, to help them to achieve those capacities by whatever method, whether it is advocacy, as CCI mentioned, whether it is hardcore training and capacity building, which we have been attempting in FSSAI, whether it is getting the citizen to start demanding safe food and be willing to pay the cost which comes with that, whether it is through creating systems such as, let us say, logos or recognizable certification systems, like we're doing clean street food hubs. So what we've tried to do is we get together, let's say, 50 or more vendors, train them, have them achieve certain benchmarks which are defined in advance, and then certify that as a clean street food hub, and make that information available on channels like, let's say, Zomato. So there is an entire discovery app which goes behind that. In other words, you create a circular economy, you create a commercial interest, the vendor is interested in doing it, the consumer who's demanding clean street food can actually go down to such platforms and discover that such a thing is available. So creating this entire economy and essentially keeping your ears to the ground. Dealing with all your constituents as essential collaborators and partners in the entire process. If there is no regulated entity, there is no regulator. I think this is